Something felt off this weekend in NASCAR. Not just chaotic, not just frustrating, but genuinely uncomfortable to watch if you care about this sport. You could feel the tension building lap after lap, like everything was hanging by a thread. And by the end of the race, that thread had completely snapped. But the real story is not only what happened on the track, it is what happened behind the scenes too. Heated radios, frustrated voices, a team that sounds like it is running out of answers. And now what looked like just a rough stretch is starting to feel like something much bigger. This is NASCAR Track News, where we break down the biggest stories in the sport with real fan perspective and no fake hype. If you are a true NASCAR fan who follows this sport every single week, hit that like button, subscribe to NASCAR Track News, and let's get into one of the most concerning storylines in the garage right now. At the center of all of this is Kyle Busch. What happened at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Food City 500 was not just another bad race. It felt like every problem that has been building this season finally boiled over in one ugly afternoon. Kyle Busch came into Bristol already under pressure, and from the start it was clear the number 8 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet was not where it needed to be. He was unhappy with the rear grip, could not get the car to rotate, and had no confidence entering the corners. Every lap looked like a struggle. Instead of attacking the track, he was just surviving it. Then came the incidents with Riley Herbst. The first flashpoint happened on lap 313 when Herbst got into Busch and sent him spinning. Busch had already been buried in traffic after starting 29th, and that moment felt like the point where the race mentally slipped away. Then came lap 498. Busch made heavy contact with Herbst, spun him out, and brought out the final caution of the race. That was the 9th caution of the day, and it instantly became one of the biggest talking points from Bristol. A lot of people saw obvious retaliation. Fans were divided, and it definitely did not help Busch's image at a time when everything around him already feels tense. And honestly, the radio chatter may have been even more revealing than the on-track contact. Inside the number 8 team, emotions were boiling over between crew chief Jim Pullman and spotter Derek Nealand. Pullman was trying to figure out exactly what the car was doing, asking whether it was tight, loose, plowing, or sideways. Nealand fired back that he had a headset on, not a helmet, and did not know. That exchange told you everything about the mood inside that team. Later, after the spin, Nealand tried to calm things down, saying yelling at each other was not going to fix anything. Then came the line that really stood out. Pullman said it was the same thing every week. That is not normal in-race frustration. That is the sound of a team that feels completely stuck, and the results back it up. Busch finished 25th, 2 laps down. That makes 4 straight races outside the top 20. Las Vegas, Darlington, Martinsville, and now Bristol. Through 8 races this season, he still does not have a single top 10 finish. His best result is only 12th at Circuit of the Americas. He sits 24th in the standings with 131 points, already 46 points below the playoff cut line. This is Kyle Busch, a 2-time Cup Series champion, a driver who has won 8 Cup races at Bristol and 22 times there across NASCAR National Series, a track where he used to be the guy everyone feared. Now he is mired in one of the worst slumps of his career. And the bigger number hanging over everything is 101. That is how many races Busch has now gone without a win, dating back to 2023. And on top of everything else, his contract with Richard Childress Racing runs through the end of 2026. So now you have bad finishes, no top 10s, mounting team tension, heated radio exchanges, fan backlash, a winless streak over 100 races, and a contract clock ticking in the background. That is a dangerous mix. To Busch's credit, he kept it professional after the race. He said they fought the car all day, lost track position, and never recovered. He said the team would keep working heading into Kansas. But if you have watched NASCAR long enough, you know when something feels deeper than one bad Sunday, and this does. This does not feel like a simple rough patch. A rough patch is a couple of bad weeks, some bad luck, a missed setup. What we are seeing feels more serious. When a driver of this level goes 8 races without a top 10 and 4 straight outside the top 20, that is not random bad luck. That is a program that is not clicking. And the biggest warning sign may not even be the finishes. It may be the communication. In NASCAR, chemistry between driver, crew chief, and spotter is everything. Right now, the number 8 team does not sound connected. It sounds worn down and out of answers. And when you add in the Herbst contact at Bristol, it only strengthens the feeling that frustration is starting to spill over in ways that could make things worse. If this team cannot stop the slide soon, the pressure is only going to grow. Not just because of the playoff standings, but because every bad week adds more questions about where this is all heading. For a driver with Kyle Busch's legacy, this is not just about salvaging a season. It is about protecting the final chapter of his career. That is why the next few races matter so much. If RCR can find speed, clean up the communication, and start building momentum, then maybe Bristol becomes the low point before a real turnaround. But if the same issues keep showing up, this season could spiral into something with real consequences for Busch, for the team, and for what comes after 2026. And as fans, that is genuinely tough to watch, because we all know what Kyle Busch looks like when everything is working. We have all seen him dominate Bristol. That is exactly why watching him fight the car, fight traffic, and fight his own team on the radio hits so differently. So here is the question. Is this just a brutal stretch of bad form, or are we watching the beginning of something more serious for Kyle Busch and Richard Childress Racing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I want to know what NASCAR Track News fans think about this one. Hit that like button, subscribe to NASCAR Track News, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next update. We are building this channel for real fans who care about what is actually happening in this sport. To wrap it up, Bristol was more than just another disappointing finish. It was a warning sign. The car was off, the team sounded frustrated, the Herbst contact added more controversy, and the numbers keep getting uglier. No top 10s in 8 races, 4 straight outside the top 20, 24th in points, a 101 race winless streak. That is not just a slump, that is a turning point. Can they fix it before it is too late? Because what happens next really could change everything.